Hello, this is Katie. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing a swatching of these Keebor 80 affordable alcohol markers from Amazon. They were $29.99. I believe there was a coupon I was able to clip for like 5% maybe. Those just pop up sometimes. So I'm just having fun looking at them because I love new markers. I have a number of these sets now. I think this is the fourth. I'm setting aside a pen so I can write the numbers as I swatch them. And I really like the, holding the pen, the physical feel of it, and taking off the cap is not hard at all. So if anybody has any, trouble with the strength in their hands, it should be pretty easy. I'm just doing the nib side and then the wide side. These are not a brush tip. Most of the cheaper alcohol markers are a nib. I do have the 72 Ohuhu brush set, which I love. Those are very good. I don't mind the nibs because I like using these as well. And I will go off screen for a couple of these. I'm very sorry. I zoomed in and I wasn't paying attention, but I will move it into view once I remember. But all I'm doing is swatching both sides of the pen, essentially, and writing the number. But I am showing you each one. So I have other sets. I have the Cali Art markers. I believe there are 100 of those. And I have the Shuttle 88 set. I also have the Arteza 60 set. They did come out with a 120. If I don't love the Artezas, I don't like the shape of them, to be honest. I think the markers are okay. But they're triangle and they're kind of hard to hold. I haven't used those ones in a while. But I did get the 60 set. I know that they have a 120 now. I believe you can just buy the other 60 if you bought the first 60 like me separately. I just haven't looked into it. I will be doing a little comparing. I'll try to explain what I'm showing you because I have other swatch sheets like this for those other sets. I have, so I have the Ohuhu 72, the Shuttle 88, the Arteza 60, and I have Cali Art as well. And I think those were the four that I had before I bought this set. What I tried to do on Amazon, if you have a problem like me and can't stop buying these, then what I did was I had open in a few tabs. I had the ones I had purchased. Not all of them show or have an image for all of the colors splayed, like swatched out. Even if it's a digital image, that's fine. What I was trying to do was make sure that I wasn't basically duplicate purchasing a set under a different name, because who knows, one person is probably making all of these and it's probably Kraft, because Kraft owns everything. Of course, I'm joking, but these are cheap alcohol markers from China, and it's probably one company just making a bunch of different sets so that we will buy them. It's working, so congrats. So I had the different tabs open so that I could compare and see, are the shades of purple in this one the same as the shades of purple I already have, or are the reds? I looked at the reds very closely. I believe the reds in this one are a lot deeper. I'm going to show you a comparison to one of the other swatching sheets that I have for one of the other sets. And I probably didn't do all of these in the best order. I do remember I have a 71 blue that was supposed to go after this one probably, but I didn't catch it. And so I end up coming back up here and just swatching a little swatch of it in between these two so I can keep it nearby. Someday when I have time, because it's hard to know just from the cap color, you have to actually swatch it on paper to know what the color looks like. Someday when I have time, I can redo this sheet and put all of the colors that are close to each other in the actual correct order. Because there are a couple others, like in the pink peachy area around 28 and 25. There are two others that would go with those really well, and I end up pointing them out to you later because I had to swatch them lower. But I could redo this sheet, so it's a lot easier for a reference, so you can find your pairs a lot better. Aside from the Copics that I have where I can easily blend 3 colors, in all of these sets, I could probably only find you 2 that would go together at a time. The issue is that obviously I have more Copics than I must. I don't know how many I have, but I have more than 80. And so just having a set like this is going to be a little bit more difficult. But here I show you like 56 and 59 could probably blend well together. I'll be pointing them out like that as I see them. I do like the teals. I don't know if I come up with, I think 53 and 57 would probably blend well together. I would like more teal, but I also want more teals in the Copic spectrum. That doesn't exist. So I think I may just be a little picky when it comes to my teals because it's my favorite color. And even, I'm not even happy with the blends I get with Copic. I think I have one good 3 teal blend with Copic that I like, but that's about it. So my goal with this was to not only have markers that I'm comfortable bringing to card class, first of all, for people that don't generally have Copics or even card make. If they're coming to class, they're not always card makers at home. They just want to come and make cards and go home. That's not necessarily their hobby. And I don't necessarily want inexperienced people using very expensive Copic markers, but I also have them set up on my desk in front of me in a container I don't want to have to bring with me. And I feel bad bringing just a limited number of colors based on the card kit that I made because I know some people like to branch out or pick whatever color they want. And that's fine. So I'll bring a couple of these sets, the cheap alcohol markers, and we can work with those. But by having 3 or 4 of them, and I'll show you this, you can get a good color combo between brands, between the different cheaper ones. And I think they blend just fine together. I know I've done it before. But I also have the Ohuhu brush set, which behaves more like a Copic brush tip. I'm not sure how blending a brush tip with a nib would work out. I would treat these more like a Spectrum Noir marker, which I also have the full set of. Those are a little bit cheaper. Those are not what I would consider cheap alcohol markers. Spectrum Noir is somewhere in between these and Copics price-wise. More like a couple dollars or a few dollars a pen, a marker. I can't remember entirely. But these, there are different versions of the colors, or even if they have the same number or name, they do look different on paper. So you can blend colors in between these brands. The other thing is that these just have like fuzz all over them. I think it's from the bag they came in. They all have little hairs all over the place. And whatever pieces of little black fuzz are getting all over my hands. But it's fine. It's nothing toxic or anything. I don't know that I need a fluorescent marker in a set. I probably would have done for like a pale yellow. I know there are probably enough yellows in here to blend well, but I don't need a highlighter in the mix. There are a couple colors. I think it's maybe even the next 2. Not that one. I think that one's okay. But like olive green, I don't even really know. I suppose 42 and 41, that's why I'm pointing them out to you, would probably blend well together. There are just some colors in these sets that I just don't like and I don't see myself ever using. But even 104 and 41, the last 2 I just did, could blend. But then 25 and 26 that I'm pointing out here probably should have been next to each other, especially number-wise. Those 2 would probably blend well together. And then I actually have a lighter pink that would go good with the 28, even though this is 131. 28 and that one would probably blend well together if you were doing like a light skin tone. I think one of those said like skin color and it was like milky white, which Copic stopped doing, which was smart because that's marker racism, basically. You can't just say skin color on a white marker. That's not how that works. And so they changed the name of it. I might even have the old one. I can't remember. But it said something along those lines. And so they got smart and changed it. This company didn't quite figure that out yet. But I think it's coming from China, so who knows. So another example is this set has a number of warm grays, which I'm doing right now. And it has warm gray 1, and then it has warm gray 0.5, 0.5, like a half. And but it only has one cool gray. And so I'll show you that in comparison to another one of these types of sets that has the higher numbers. I think this one just has a cool gray 1, but the other sets I have higher numbers of cool gray. And so I can combine that one into those others from the other sets. So that works out. I think it was that one. I don't remember what it was called. And it's got some blue grays. So it just has 3 blue grays. But I believe the other sets have, one of the other sets has some blue grays as well. But may not have as many warm grays as examples. So those kind of work well together. You can get your grays figured out between, 2 or 3 sets if you buy the right ones. So I will be showing those to you. I am going to swatch the colorless blender because I don't know why. Not all of them come with one. I think they all do, but some of them haven't. And so I'm just noting essentially on the paper that this one does come with a colorless blender. No fancy logo, just Keebor 80. So I do end up pausing here for a second to put all the markers back in the bag. And I'm going to show you. So I have the Ohuhu 72 brush tip. This one has more of the cool grays. So you could combine that CG1. It's almost even lighter than the CG00. But then the other one has more CGs. And this one might have a lot of warm grays as well, because I think that one has 88 markers, but that CG1 is even lighter than the CG 0.5 in the other set. Or in the CaliArt set, we've got green grays and one CG1, just like the Keebor set. But they're not the same CG1, so it doesn't matter what the name is, you can blend them because they're still different, if that makes sense. The CG5 in the CaliArt set isn't necessarily the CG5 there. Now, the Arteza ones are named with the letter A and 3 numbers, usually. You just kind of have to decide. I believe they're closer to a cool gray, the grays that the Arteza set has, because they're not labeled with C's, but to me that's a cool gray. It may have a couple other different grays. I know this part is moving pretty fast, and I'm sorry. I do want to show you on the CaliArt in relation to the Keebor I just did. The reds are maybe a little bit different, so you can blend them in between the two. And I'm not sure which one I look at next. I think I'm looking for teals, but basically like the 65 and 65 between these two sets are, or you could blend the 65 with the 67 on the other set. And that, I think, is just the benefit of having more than one of these sets, because you're not going to have to invest in all the Copics, but 2 different colors from 2 different sets could work very well together. So hopefully this wasn't too fast and helped you out a little bit. Let me know if you have any questions below, and thank you for watching. Bye.